Welcome back everyone to the GeoWizard channel and to the Geo Detective series. It's hotting up, isn't it? If you're new to this series, to these videos, you join us at a very interesting time, a very exciting time within my little world at least. And as you can see, we have an old photo, just as we did last week, just as we did the week before that. And just like in those previous two episodes, you won't have a Scooby-Doo who this is in this historical photo. The difference is this week, nobody does, not even the person who sent this image in. Let me explain. I will be concluding last week's suspected Littlehampton photo with evidence from the locals. So that will be at the end of the video, okay? So these three photographs were sent in by Lewis Jones. Check this out. I don't know if we'll see the likes of this again. Hey Tom, hopefully this one will be of interest to you. It's unfortunately not a relative, but one big mystery. I bought an old box brownie camera a few months ago, 1950s model, and discovered it still had undeveloped film inside. I had this developed and scanned it, and it contained some beach photos of an unknown location. I'm UK based, so I can only assume that these were taken in the UK, and unfortunately that's as much as I know. But yeah, here are the three photos, and as you can see, young girl aged 4, maybe 3, 4, digging a hole in the sand. That was my activity of choice on the beach. Still is, to be honest. I need to grow up. And there she is again. I think that's the same girl. I don't know. And you can see a different angle here of this seaside resort. And then we have the mother and the grandmother, presumably. And you can see them very clearly. And this is why I think this is a worthy cause here, a worthy video to make. Because can you imagine if we could find this girl, who is presumably now in her 60s or 70s? It depends when this was taken. Let's presume this was taken in 1955. That would make her about 72. Now, she might not still be alive. I would have thought that this lady here won't be alive. Definitely not this one. She was probably born in the Victorian era, most likely. So she very old. But if we can somehow get this out there, get it trending somehow, I don't know how you go about doing that, but just share it, and maybe, because whoever that is, if they see this, would be able to confirm that it's them, especially as they might recognise the location and hopefully their mother. But I am aware, obviously, that 70-year-olds don't tend to spend a lot of time on YouTube. So it's probably down to their son or daughter or grandchildren to recognise their mother or their grandmother. I think it's unlikely. I think we might get a lot of false leads. People claiming that it's their grandmother. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just thought this was a cool idea to have a go at. And of course the main thing that I'll be doing is figuring out where it was taken. But yeah, that's the plan. I mean, I don't know how common a thing this is to find film in a camera that's 70 years old. Maybe it happens a lot. Maybe this isn't that crazy, but I think it's pretty rare, I would have thought, and pretty interesting. I think this is the best photo in more ways than one, but definitely in finding out where we are here. We've got old seaside buildings here, many of which will still exist, I would have thought. Maybe we can find, and obviously the ultimate goal, apart from finding the family, maybe, is finding this exact spot. Because this wall, this brick wall, it's not brick, this stone wall, will most likely, 99%, still be there. So if we can find this exact spot, which I'm confident of, that's the aim. Okay, so it's seaside towns again in southern England. maybe Blackpool, maybe it's Northern England, but I suspect Southern England. So apologies for the lack of variation from last week in terms of location. But here we go. Right, first things first, I'm not going to stuff up the shadows again. Where is the sun? It actually looks like there might be some clouds in the sky, but I do feel like we have some sun. Right, where do I start? I think I start on Google Earth, I think. But let's just see if we can figure out that sun. You can see a shadow of her dress there. Don't see any big shadows going on at all. Ah, wait. That sandcastle is quite dark this side. Is that a clue? And I don't see any sun kind of glaring on her head from that side. But that side, there is a bit there. Yeah, that side of the sandcastle. Sorry, I'm not good at this shadow stuff, clearly. That side of the sandcastle is darker. That side of that boy's head is darker. So sun kind of over here somewhere roughly. She's squinting her eyes a bit. Okay, so that could potentially be south then. I like that. That adds up. I'm going to get into the south of England, places like Brighton, Worthing, and start looking. Yeah, let's go. I mean, I could find this quite quick, potentially. Right, so the kind of contenders we're looking for here are famous seaside resorts like Weymouth, Bournemouth, Bognor Regis, Worthing, Brighton, Eastbourne, Hastings. Yeah, those sorts of places. So let's start with Hastings. It needs a pier. There is a pier here. It doesn't look particularly big, but you can see the two struts there that head out, and it starts on the beach. So I wouldn't say that's a huge pier because it doesn't come from land. And we have like what seems like some steps there. So bear that in mind. I don't think Hastings is adding up straight away because that comes from land and it's big. So Hastings is out and we move on. Eastbourne. Again, same thing. Big wide pier that a car could drive down if needs be. Moving on. I know Brighton has a couple of piers. Newhaven. We'll reach Littlehampton soon if we carry on. So Brighton has this pier here, which is a no-no. But if there's another one, and of course we do have that old imagery. No, we don't. Not so much. Not here. The old Brighton pier is there, but I don't think we're there. Doesn't add up in many ways. Well, we know we're not in Littlehampton. Bognor Regis. Big girthy pier there. So that'll be a no. We might not be on the south coast. The sun direction isn't quite as definitive as it was last week. South Sea, another girthy pier. Right, Bournemouth. I know we have a couple of piers in Bournemouth. There's Boscombe Pier, but we're not in Boscombe. Bournemouth. No. Weymouth. No. Lyme Regis. Negative. Torquay. I don't think it's Torquay. Okay, I'm gonna abandon the south coast for a minute. Pretty much searched most of it. Just gonna check a couple of places in Wales. One thing's for sure, I feel at ease in knowing that when we find this, when we find the right town, there's so many ways that I'll be able to identify, cement it. Because some of these buildings, the spires, just the irregular, unique shape of all these buildings will do it. No doubt about it. Now it doesn't correlate with the sun, but there's a couple of places up here, such as Llandudno, Aberystwyth it can't be because it has a pebble beach. Right, do you know what? No. It's a list of piers. A list of piers in Britain. I'm just going to move through these, folks. I'm just going to move through these. Let's get to Blackpool. Looking at it here. Got a lot of piers. I imagine it's changed quite a lot as well. Where's the actual beach, man? Okay, despite the many piers, I'm going to move away from Blackpool. Bognor Regis, we've checked. Bournemouth, Boscombe, Palace Pier, Brighton. Burnham-on-Sea. Not Burnham-on-Crouch. Different one. Burnham-on-Sea. Let's get to that. Here it is. That kind of correlates with the sun a bit. Shortest pier. Oh, there it is. Ha! That's hilarious. Okay, we're not there. But I know that nearby we have Weston-super-Mare, which has a pier. Ooh. See, they could have been rebuilt. They could be different now. Wow, look at that wall. Now, this is interesting. And actually, I'm looking at that building there. That actually looks quite similar to something we've got. I mean, so, right, this could be wrong, but if it's right, this will be built since 1950. In fact, a lot of that, everything on that pier would be post 1950. Did I say 60? 50, 55. And that does look new. So let's see here. We're looking at this building. Look at that. That is pretty damn similar. Yeah, that's, I already know this is it. Look at the shape of those two buildings. And then if we look round to the left, that got that little clock tower there? Yeah, little, well, it's not a clock tower, but yeah. That wall though, didn't I say that that's got to still be there? I mean, and by God it is. And then down here, there's a big pavilion, which isn't on our picture, but there is this building, which seems to have gone. This building here, I mean, we are quite far down the road. Oh, unless we're there. Oh my God, yeah, we're right down there. Okay. So I've figured out exactly where we are, guys. We're here. Don't suppose I can put the man down there. Oh my God. Look at this. This woman or her dog has taken a photo. She's taken a photo. I mean, check this out, guys. That is that, isn't it? That is that, and then you can see down the coast. As usual, the perspectives are weird. Things looking further than they are on the photo, but you can see that one and you can see that one. And can we see this pavilion? Yeah, we can see a tiny slither of it there. So fascinating. Weston-super-Mare. It's about as classic a seaside destination as you could possibly get in Britain. I mean, I've never been there, which is mad, really, because people flock here for some reason from the Midlands. Weston-super-Mare, yeah, just old school Victorian piers, Punch and Judy. That's not really going anymore. Don't know why. Can't imagine why. Ice cream, fish and chips, arcades, sandcastles on the beach. You know, it's what Brits did before planes were cheap. Right, so we are here. I mean, how far are we from that? Because we're still a little way down from this, aren't we? I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I want to find the exact pattern of bricks that we have on this photo, but like, imagine if we found that exact brick. I don't think we're gonna do that, but I'm going to bloody well try. I just find it amazing that these people were standing by these same bricks that I'm looking at now, and they won't have changed. In a way, it's not amazing, but they're on the sand, which is right by the wall. So this wasn't constructed. This thing here. Okay, I've got a bit ahead of myself. That's okay. We can't find the exact brick. I'm going to put the marker down and try and judge it. You know, I would say we are, so I'll say 35 yards from that building there. 35 meters, whatever. So I'll literally get the ruler out and I'll say that we're sort of there. That's where I'm going, man. That's where I'm going. I'm happy, guys. So that's the location. Just out of interest, I just want to go back in time a bit if I can. 1999. I think I might have been wrong about the pier not leading to a road. I think it may well do, and I'm just seeing it wrong, but that's okay. We got there fairly swiftly. The location has been found, and it's not a surprising one. The question now is, guys, in this inevitably fairly short video, who are these people? Who is this family? Mother, grandmother, daughter, possibly brothers playing there, and quite possibly, thinking about it, the father who actually took the photos, who purchased the camera, but forgot to develop the film. Who knows what happened? Anything could have happened. We don't know. And we also don't know what's going to happen next. Am I going to get an email from someone who claims to be this girl or this girl's daughter or son? Could that happen? 65 million people in Britain. I suspect not. It's fun to speculate, but we'll see. We will see. And that's all I can really do on this one for now, guys. The door of this mystery is ajar for now. Let's firmly shut last episode's mystery, which it was for a while. One that I didn't think I'd solve for quite some time. And I'm talking about this photo here, which I claimed was in Littlehampton. Much more defined shadows there to help us out. I claimed that it was in Littlehampton. I was 99% sure. I didn't get a response from the people on Facebook because they hadn't approved my post in time. But shortly after editing the video, the post was approved. And let me tell you, there was a lot more of an enthusiastic reaction than there was in Tucson. The comments came flooding in. Take a look. It looks very much like the breakwater alongside the Arran, West Beach side. That's where we went in the end. That's where I decided to put the marker down. Hi Tom, very likely the breakwater had a walkway on the top. So Steve Long, with the first evidence that backed up my theory that there must have been another layer on top. I didn't know it was a walkway. I'm not local, but plenty of members say they remember fishing from the construction in the 50s. West Beach, says Mark Davey. Yes, I remember when there was a walkway all the way along the West Works. When I was a kid, I actually made it all the way to the end, annoying all the fishermen each way. Yep, sounds like you, Jeff, says another local. So we're talking about this extra layer on here that wasn't there on the modern images of this structure. Just to cap it off, guys, someone else by the name of Tomash, who I don't even think is British, did a bit of digging and unsurprisingly found stuff that I didn't find, and found this photo, and you can clearly see people walking out there along that West Pier to the end. So definitely I can learn from that in the sense that I can do a bit more digging, I think, and my Googling can get a bit better. It was the same in Tucson. You know, I was 5 miles away in the end, and I could have, if I'd have just persevered, I could have found that spot. It's all experience. I think it's not knowing that, you know, things don't change that much, largely. and presuming that they do change too much to recognise places. But so far, that hasn't been the case. In Tucson, in Littlehampton, and certainly in Weston-super-Mare, all the historical ones I've done so far, it's been very obvious in the end where the correct spot was. So, correctamundo on that one. So I've labelled it green. The Lithuania flag has been tarnished somewhat. Daniel's grandmother, 25 metres away. And hey, we can go ahead and add our most recent one. I'm kind of judging myself here, but it's within 25 metres, I'm going to say. I hope and trust that you all agree. Maybe, just maybe, one day in the not too distant future, we can rename this box Doreen McManaman. Someone's name, that's not a real person, someone's name. Wouldn't that be amazing? Share away, show friends and family. If you think it could be your grandmother or relative, send me an email, but only if you're sure. Only if you're sure, because it will just clog up my email, inevitably, if not. And on that note, if you have any similar things like this, guys, I'm crying out for them. I've been getting a few since the Littlehampton one, but just send them in. Have a look, root around for family photos and send them in if you want to be featured. Other than that, sorry for the short video today, but hopefully this isn't the end of this particular episode. Thanks for watching and take care of yourselves. See you soon.